reckon this is something you don't see every day.
Look at them teeth.
God, look at that fish. Oh.
Welcome to Revive the Outdoors with Cody and Cody.
I just killed a bear. Oh, my bow and arrow.
Join us on the water and in the woods for some great outdoor adventures. Revive the Outdoors is brought to you by Danner, the Expert's Choice. Brunton.
There was 3 shots when I hit that bird.
Lacrosse,
Lord
established
mercy.
1897. Gerber 9. Trichicon, brilliant aiming solution. Oklahoma Tourism.
About that there.
Command the Wild hunting products.
It's definitely a good fish, but it's kind of a teaser. Well, welcome to the second leg of the Bass Pro Shop Crappie Masters Florida State Championship. We're here on Lake Harris in Leesburg, Florida, and we're filming the second leg of the tournament. Cody was down last week on Lake Monroe and Jessup, and he was filming the first leg. Now these guys are fishing, like I said, in the second leg to qualify for the finals, and the way they do that is they have to fish on both legs, both tournaments, and they have to finish in the top 75 places. And as you can see, we're like I said, we're in Florida, and not your typical Florida gear. Everybody's bundled up. This is the coldest snap they've had all year, from what I understand. And Mr. Smith here is our guy today, and he you can tell that he's geared up as well for the cold weather, and said that these fish could be a little bit of tough fishing. But the guys we got behind us, they said they've already had a pretty good morning, and so we're just gonna kind of be easing around the lake here. This is the Harris Chain of Lakes, and there are over 1,200 lakes in this chain, and this is where the final will be held tomorrow as well for the championship. So we're excited to be here. We're going to be out visiting with a few of these fishermen today, just kind of easing around the lake, having fun, and hopefully we'll get on some fish, get these guys catching some big fish, and then we'll join up with them at the weigh-in and see exactly what happens and who will be moving on to the finals. But it's cold. We're hoping it's going to warm up. We'll be easing around and catching up with a few other guys here in a minute.
Hello, I'm Michelle Cernasek with American Angler, and I'm fishing with John today, and we're going to catch the big one.
What we're doing is we're spider rigging 8 poles out the front of the boat, and we're running about 2 foot deep, hoping to catch fish ready to come into the weed beds. I like to go from 0.2 to 0.5 mile an hour.
Up there, by the edge. I'm on him. Wait till he turns. When you're ready. Great shot! Oh, man.
Brilliant aiming solutions. Trichicon.
If your greatest adventure is the great outdoors, we'll see you at the Sportsman's Warehouse. Whether you're a hunter, fisherman, or simply can't resist the wild's call, the Sportsman's Warehouse is where you'll discover everything you're going to need to make your next adventure great. And with the city's most knowledgeable staff of outdoor experts, there's always help and advice you can really use. The Sportsman's Warehouse, getting your great adventure off to a great start.
Spider rigging 8 poles out the front of the boat, and we're running about 2 foot deep, hoping to catch fish ready to come into the weed beds. I like to go from 0.2 to 0.5 mile an hour on the speed. Just enough to keep my lines pretty much straight in the water, depending on what the wind does.
You know, Cody and I have the opportunity to come out here and enjoy following the Crappie Masters tournament trail around and getting out here, be on the lake. But one thing that makes it possible is the participation of local communities around here, like here in Leesburg. From Jim Smith out here guiding us around, catching up with these fishermen, showing some fish on the camera and all, to the local city officials. And speaking of city officials, Mr. Paul Alpers, the Vice President of Bass Pro Shop Crappie Masters, is with some here in Leesburg right now. Let's go catch up with them and see what's going on here in Leesburg.
Hi folks, I'm Paul Alpers, Vice President of Bass Pro Crappie Masters Team Tournament Trail. Today I have Greg Mahalik with me, Bill Deese, Vanessa Henson. Greg is Director of Lake County Tourism. Bill Deese is Director of Special Events here in Leesburg. And of course Vanessa, she's kind of the odd duck. She's all the way from Reelfoot Tourism. She's the Director of Reelfoot Tourism up there in Tennessee. But that is where the site of the 2008 National Championship is. But while we're here today, folks, we're at the beautiful Lake Harris here at Leesburg, Florida. Also right here we got Venetia Gardens, and we're having the Florida State Bass Pro Crappie Masters Florida State Championship. And Greg, tell us a little bit about your area and what all goes on and what people can look for here.
Well, Lake County has over 1,200 named lakes in the county, and we're noted for our water amenities and fishing and boating and outside activities and leisure activities around water. So again, that's where we get our name, Lake County.
Bill, tell us a little bit what goes all into that and how you choose the different team trails that you want to come here.
The word got out across the nation, and no longer did we really have to go out and recruit, because now they're coming to us and we're having to pick and choose.
Well, I tell you what, we was out here the other day fishing a little tournament, and the fishing is fine here, folks. They call them specks down here. We call them crappie in Missouri, and they call them crappies in South Carolina, and even in Louisiana they call them sockeye. But there's a lot of different names for this fish, but it's probably one of the best sought after panfish in the country. But they have some of the best crappie fishing, speck fishing for you Florida folks that there is. But they got a lot of things. It's not really, what I like about this area, it's not in the hype of all the rat race, the traffic and everything you got. You just it's a laid back community that's got a lot of opportunities and amenities to go see. But to check us out when we have the tournament, check us out at crappiemasters.net. You can check out anything that goes on, any tournaments, any locations. And we're here because we love the area, and it's probably one of the top 5 fisheries in the country, folks. Check out where do they check out on your all's website? How do they
Ours
get hold
is
of
lakecountyfl.com is our website. Please check it out for all our water amenities and other amenities we have in Lake County.
Well, there you have it, folks. Come catch some specks and have a lot of fun right here at Leesburg, Florida. Stay tuned. We're going to go out and see if we can find a speck. How about it?
Sounds good. We're glad to have you here.
Thank you.
Well, y'all, we're easing through these canals between Lake Harris and Lake Dora. It's cool meeting up back there with some of them locals. Well, we are down here fishing the Bass Pro Shop Crappie Masters tournament, but you know, getting out and we kind of eased off a few of the tournament boats and getting out here and seeing some of the locals out here fishing. And I'm gonna tell you what, these are some of the first fish we've seen caught this morning. Of course, they were anticipating a little later bite, a little later in the day the fish start biting. With the weather they've had come through, but they just back up in here. Bunch of lily pads and reeds around here. And these guys got a few in the boat. We got another one over here, just caught one a minute ago, and they're pretty piled up back in here. But getting out here and seeing some of these locals just out having fun, that's what crappie fishing is really all about. The tournament side of things, you know, a good way for folks to get out and kind of be competitive with each other and all, and have a chance to win some. There's another fish on right there. These folks just coming out and having a good time. A lot of them fishing for food, and crappie, one of the best eating fish there is. They were telling us about, you know, the alligators down here. We figured we'd come ride through these canals looking for a couple of them to go meet up with some more of the crappie fishermen on this other lake. But while I'm looking until I find one, let's go check out or check in with Mr. and Miss Reedy. They were the winners of last week's tournament, and they're gonna give us some tips and techniques on crappie fishing down here in Florida, how they caught their fish, and what led them to a win for one of these Bass Pro Shop Crappie Master tournaments. Well, we're here with another team, Mr. Jim and Miss Barbara Reedy. They won the first leg of the tournament down here in Florida, and this is another group that's going to hook us up with some tips and techniques for y'all to go out and use for yourselves. Cody and I like talking to these folks. We constantly learn from these professional fishermen and fisherwomen. And so, I mean, not only can we learn and take it out, but also we want to share it with you and make sure that you go out and have a good experience while fishing. So guys, if y'all could tell us just some things that helped y'all, especially, you know, when y'all won a couple weeks back and some things y'all did throughout this tournament to keep you on top, what would you share with the viewers as something important?
I think one of the main things to keep important is if you first start out fishing like spider rigging, which we do, we fish 8 poles. Okay. She fishes 4 and I fish 4. But the first thing that they need to do is make sure you've got good uniformity. You need the same kind of poles. We use B&M poles strictly. Same kind of reels. We use B&M reels. And make sure everything's exactly the same. That way when you reach down, you grab it, set the hook, it's the same on every pole. You're not going to this kind of reel to this kind of reel, and the poles are all the same length. The bend on the pole's the same. You're using the same ounce weights on everything, so everything is the same. And if something's different, then you might have a strike on or a slow bite or something like that. But that's what you need to do. You need to keep everything the same.
And we usually start out using different. I might have one color jig, and he'll have another color on all of our poles. And when we start to get hits, then the other will switch to that also, and it helps us sometimes to pick up extra fish, we think.
So keeping your options open.
Yeah. Keep
on
them
colors,
open because
especially.
you've got to change those colors.
And don't be afraid to change it.
Absolutely.
Well, definitely thank y'all. Y'all are definitely a pleasure to be around, and we hope the best for you in the tournament series here to come. But, you know, like they said, just keep everything consistent when it comes to your equipment. But then that's the benefit of being able to have 8 rods out. You can put more lures out there, and then whenever they're hitting on that certain one, because, you know, that's the thing with fishing, sometimes you never really know what color they're going to bite on, depending on the conditions. And then you can switch over and just start bringing them in like that. But once again, thank y'all for that tip. I hope it helped you out, but we'll bring some more to you right here from the Bass Pro Shop Florida State Championship Crappie Masters Tournament Trail. Thank you.
If your greatest adventure is the great outdoors, we'll see you at the Sportsman's Warehouse. Whether you're a hunter, fisherman, or simply can't resist the wild's call, the Sportsman's Warehouse is where you'll discover everything you're going to need to make your next adventure great. And with the city's most knowledgeable staff of outdoor experts, there's always help and advice you can really use. The Sportsman's Warehouse, getting your great adventure off to a great start.
Hey everyone, Cody here. You may know MetroTurf for their great selection of lawn and garden products, but if you're looking for a sweet ride, make MetroTurf your #1 dealership for all your outdoor needs. Specializing in the Cub Cadet 4x4, they'll help you choose the ride that's best for you. Whether it be riding on gravel roads, muddy inclines, or out in the pasture, the Cub Cadet 4x4 is one of the toughest UTVs available. So before you head outdoors, make sure you head out to MetroTurf today. MetroTurf, located at I-35 and Indian Hills Road. Well, we've run up here on a pretty fancy little boat here with Mr. Deason and Mr. Outlaw. These were the winners of the first leg of the Florida State Championship last year, and always a fun group of guys to come up on, real talkative, and we came up and kind of asked them how they were going to hit them this morning. They're doing some long lining this morning, and that's the way you'll see a lot of these fishermen out here hitting these crappies is long lining with double jig, or at least 2 hooks on each line, maybe tipped with a minnow. But a lot of guys will also be out here spider rigging, as you've seen. I know we've done some just some different things with spider rigging. When I was down in Grenada, Mississippi, Cody, I'm sure, come up on some spider rigging when he was down at Lake Monroe and Jessup last week down here in Florida. But spider rigging is where, you know, the difference between the two, you got your spider rig set up to where all your poles are kind of out front, you're trolling, and hence the name, it just kind of looks like spider legs coming off the front of the boat, whereas long line, your rods are more off to the side, can be up to the front, but off to the side and to the back. They said that they decided to hit them with the long line approach this morning, and they've caught a few fish. But you know, as I was talking about earlier, this is Florida. It's cold, and this is not your typical type of weather. So I imagine it's going to be kind of tough on these fishermen. But we've had a couple of guys say they're catching a few, and like these guys said, they got a few in the boat already. So hopefully it'll work out for these guys. The cold weather won't be too big of a factor, but that's always a fun boat to come up on, and a bunch of tough fishermen right there. So we'll be looking forward to see what they got back here at the weigh-in. Well, we took a little break from the fishing action right now. We eased on into town, and I'm here with Miss Pam and Miss Jenny at Carlino Realty, one of the local sponsors here for the Florida tournament of the Bass Pro Shop Crappie Masters Tournament. We want to stop by and give them a special thanks for being a part and sponsoring the tournament trail.
Well, we're real glad that you guys came by and stopped to see us, and we're glad that you guys are here in town, and hope to catch the big one.
We're going to try. Well, hey, I tell you what, let's get back on the water, see if we can't catch up with a few more fishermen. As you can see, the crappie fishermen are starting to roll on in for the weigh-in. We're going to go up here and meet up with Mr. Brian, Mr. Paul, Mr. Bobby. We're going to kick off the weigh-in, get these guys in here, see what kind of fish they caught today. Kind of some tough fishing, but maybe this warmer weather coming in this afternoon, they were expecting a little bit later bite. Maybe it turned out for them, and they got a few more fish than what we caught it with them this morning they had. But like I said, you can see them rolling in. We're going to get on up here and get ready for the weigh-in. Well, what about it, man? We got some fish caught?
Them fellas do, but I don't think we do.
No, I'm looking at fish here.
Yeah, they're little dinks. See them?
All of them about like that there, huh?
Yep. Very poor day, very poor day.
That is tough, man. It's tough conditions out there. Well, as you can see, these guys here, they've got pretty much a simple little way of telling what fish is bigger than the other. And now you can bring to the weigh-in, you can bring the legal state limit or lake limit or whatever, which you've got to pick the top 7 fish that you want to weigh in. And that's what these guys are doing right now. They're going through what fish they've caught, and they're trying to decide what 7 they're gonna haul up there to put on the scales. And these are some of the better fish that we've seen today. Now they're an early boat, but definitely some of the better fish that we've seen today. Guys, for years our equipment has survived the Cody and Cody Challenge.
That's right. From the Hunt, Hoyt, Beeman, Gold Tip, Buck-Tech, to the tournament,
Matthew, Easton, Alpine Archery, Martin, PSE.
Oklahoma Archery has provided the best product and service for the equipment we use.
Whether you're just starting or you're a seasoned hunter, stop by Oklahoma Archery, I-35, OKC.
Up there, by the edge. I'm on him. Wait till he turns. When you're ready. Great shot!
Brilliant aiming solutions. Trijicon.
If your greatest adventure is the great outdoors, we'll see you at the Sportsman's Warehouse. Whether you're a hunter, fisherman, or simply can't resist the wild's call, the Sportsman's Warehouse is where you'll discover everything you're going to need to make your next adventure great. And with the city's most knowledgeable staff of outdoor experts, there's always help and advice you can really use. The Sportsman's Warehouse, getting your great adventure off to a great start.
What's the story? We got much room left in that bucket?
Well, we had two that got off today that would have filled the bucket up, but
really, man,
good specs.
That's one of the fuller buckets we've seen now.
Good.
Oh yeah.
I don't believe it, but
No, I'm telling you.
Stephen McElroy, and they are the food source team. Great fishermen. They always catch fish, and they've got a nice mental today. Second last week, first in Southwood the last 2 weeks. 8.77.
Not crappie.
From South Carolina, all the way from South Carolina. They got a pretty good pile of fish here too, guys. They got a good pile of fish here now. Y'all listen to this. Come on, come on, come on. What is it?
938.
What? 938. We got new leaders. What do you say?
Robbie Goldman and Bobby Goldman, 938. Come on up here, guys. Get on up here. Give them a hand. South Carolina. They're going to get a check for $5,100. Dean Sanders from South Carolina, 8.9. Come on up here, guys. B&M pole team. They'll receive a check today for $2,600. Stephen McElroy and Kevin McElroy, 8.77. Give them a great hand. These guys won 2 weeks ago at Conklin. They took second, I believe, last week. And now they're third.
Well, y'all, we're here with the first, second, and third place finishers on the second leg of the qualifying round. Tomorrow's the finals. To my left, we've got Mr. Robbie and Bobby Goldman. They come in first today. Cody, who you got down there next to you?
On second place, we've got Mr. Whitey Outlaw and Mr. Dean Sanders. And then in third, we got Stephen and Kevin McElroy, who also placed at the Monroe Jessup tournament, the first leg that I was at, and Cody was not. It was a great tournament, but just a great second leg. Tomorrow is the championship for the Bass Pro Shop Crappie Masters tournament. Good luck to y'all. Congratulations today, and then good luck tomorrow. And it just so happens they all were fishing in 30 foot of water around the same cypress tree. To me, I consider that a fish story, but hopefully we can bring them back tomorrow and we can get some tips and techniques on how they managed to pull out these nice fish on a kind of a challenging day. But let's get into the championship.
Well, we just got done finishing the weigh-in for the second leg of the tournament, and these are some of the fish the guys turned in for the big fish. And you can tell, I mean, these guys have got a lot to look forward to. Some good fish being caught out of here. And Cody's joined up with me finally, and we're ready. We're excited about the finals coming up tomorrow and seeing what's going to turn out with these guys. But like I said, we got a hold of some of the better fish caught today, and this is what they're looking for. I mean, that's what's out there, man. So we're excited. We're looking forward to tomorrow.
That's right, man. These are just some Florida specs that are out here, and hopefully tomorrow it's going to warm up. We can get some big fish, big stringers in for the championship here for Bass Pro Shop Crappie Masters Florida State Championship on Lake Harris. So let's get into the action.
We're at a really
really cool event. Every Saturday morning before the tournaments, actually while the tournament's going on, they have the kids rodeo. The Crappie Masters guys get out and actually get to go around and talk to the kids. It's a really important event. You know, with Sanford and Leesburg here in Florida and then the other towns throughout the circuit that put a lot of time into the tournament with the community support. This is just a way that Crappie Masters can go back and kind of give back to the communities and have kids from the communities to come out and try their hands fishing, sometimes for the first time, as well as if there's you know, kids, the parents that are fishing in the tournament, they can actually come out here and have a nice little trip and not have to be cooped up in a hotel room.
It also gives, you know, apart from all the guys involved here with the Bass Pro Shop Crappie Masters, gives Cody and I a chance to get out here and interact with some of these kids, and a lot of them have seen the show and enjoy watching the show, so we can kind of connect with them as well. But that's what we're gonna do this morning for a little while. Let's ease around and catch up with some of these kids, and hopefully we'll get them on a couple fish.
That's right. All right. Well, she caught a nice catfish earlier, but looks like she's got some lily pad. But I guess that happens when you go out and fish. You know, I've been fishing for a long time since I was her age, and I still get hung up all the time. But
you're fishing with 2 poles, so that means this must be the spot to catch them. This has got to be the spot, because nobody else is fishing with 2 poles, 1 in each hand. And now you're fishing with minnows, and a lot of these folks fishing with worms. Now why are you fishing with minnows? Is that just your favorite bait, or? You mostly catch your fish with minnows. Well, where I see one cork out here. Where's the other one? Oh, I see you catching them bank runners and the ones hanging out in the deep water. I got you, man. I'm liking your tactics. And so, have you had any bites so far? I mean, been kind of slow this morning. Tell you what, it was slow yesterday. We're up here filming a crappie fishing tournament, man. These guys had a tough time catching fish. Today ought to be a little bit better. I think they ought to start biting a little bit better today. Well, bud, good luck. Hope you tear them up. Have fun anyway. Get out here and have fun doing a little bit of fishing. You and your dad out here. That's good, bud. That's good. Well, Tyler, it was nice meeting you, bud.
Well, see, this is what we're talking about. Cody's getting to spend some time with the kids, teaching them little pointers about how to catch these fish. Brian's down there helping too. You know, this is a mother that brought her kids out. Her husband's actually having to work today on Saturday, sadly. But, you know, she gets to come out and spend time with the kids and introduce them to fun in the outdoors. And that's exactly why Bass Pro Shop Crappie Masters sets up these kids fishing rodeos. It's really good. As you've seen, the young lady caught a really nice catfish. I think she lost her door bobber, so Dad's going to have to go out there and get it. But it's fun, and that's why we're out here doing this.
I want to thank our sponsors for allowing us to share our outdoor adventures, and we want to thank you for watching. Visit our website, codyandcody.tv, for streaming video and share with us your outdoor adventures. Tune in next week for Revive the Outdoors with Cody and Cody, right here on the Sportsman's Channel. All hunting, all fishing, all the time.
It's definitely a good fish, but it's kind of a teaser.